With Savage tonight. Raw recap is going down. We're going to be starting very soon. The Raw recap is going to be presented by me, Greek is Savage. So tonight, make sure you go to greekissavage.com or follow me on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, or TikTok. And you can catch this podcast soon anywhere from Spotify and many other platforms. What's up and what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Raw recap for April 11th, 2022. Tonight we're going to get right into it. Monday Night Raw started off with Cody Rhodes coming out to an interview for The Miz on Miz TV. The Miz and Cody Rhodes went at it for quite some time. It was nice to see a tribute to Dusty Rhodes tonight. This really locks in on their new and current most popular superstar in the world. Cody has managed to turn his family's career into a banger of a run that has only just started. From his debut, the fact that they went hard to let you know that he is handpicked from Vince McMahon himself. The fact that he is the first thing you see on Monday Night Raw 2 weeks in a row should be a big indicator that he is the real deal and that Vince McMahon is on board on this rocket ship named Nightmare and he's ready to send this kid to the moon. Okay, are you hearing me? He's going to send him to the moon, and not just for a while. Not for like a few months. I think this kid's going to the moon for the rest of his career. He's going to have a Ric Flair-ish kind of career. I'm hoping Cody has a big run, makes his money. I was very happy tonight that they paired him up right away with another mouthpiece in The Miz. It's always going to make for good TV when you got two good mouthpieces in the ring like that. They went at it, exchanging stories and basically talking the shit, you know. Miz pointed out to Cody that he was making mistakes calling things wrestling, calling people wrestlers, because that's not really WWE terminology, even though I'm pretty sure Vince is giving Cody the pass with that. So after they went at it for a little bit, they were interrupted by who other than Seth freaking Rollins coming out playing mind games during their match, which, by the way, their match was an A+, and that's what made the match so much better, is that there was great storytelling. The night starts off with Cody and Miz going at it verbally, and then there's going to be a match shortly featuring these two superstars going at it. Miz also told Cody that he didn't like his chances against him or Seth freaking Rollins. So it just had a good little build up to the actual match, which was an A+. Not a lot of mistakes in this match. The moves were clean. The selling was even cleaner. Cody's a pro. He actually looked like he was in better shape this week than he was 2 weeks ago at WrestleMania. He looks phenomenal. He looks like he's been doing his push-ups, and he looks like he trimmed out a little bit, got a little, more shape ready. And tonight you could see it in the match. The mistakes were very limited. I've been a big Cody fan ever since his debut originally. I liked all his work. I really loved his work with Sandow when he was throwing that briefcase in the water. That was one of the best things they ever did. So to see all that was fabulous. It made me really happy. I give the match an A+. That had me really excited. Like I said, the match was great from start to ending. Cody did a great job selling the knee. Great submission. They were interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins, who didn't interfere in the match. Cody beat The Miz clean in the middle of the ring. Match of the night, A+. The only match that got an A+, mind you. And during that, Seth Rollins managed to get into the ring and get a rematch with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania Backlash, which is going to be our first premiere match that we're talking about for WrestleMania Backlash, which is WWE's next big pay-per-view. So we get to see a part 2 of Rhodes and Rollins, which has great storytelling. There's going to be great long-term storytelling here because, Rollins will be a world champion. Again, the question is, will he be a world champion before Cody? Cody's going to have his gold, but I'd love to see them build up a lot of different potential feuds between Seth Rollins, between Roman Reigns, between Randy Orton, between Edge. I mean, there's a lot of great ways they can go to tell this American Nightmare tale, and it all ends with him grabbing the gold and becoming the world heavyweight champion. So that's what we want to see. After this segment got off the air, Veer versus Dominic came on. It was a very, very quick squash match, but it was good detail on the Veer, having him come in with an assault, making this kid tap out, making officials have to rip him off him. He wouldn't let go of the submission. Dominique being taken away in an ambulance. A lot of drama here. And then when they returned from commercial, Dominique was still being taken away in the ambulance. And them interviewing Veer and, interviewing the wrestler that just did this damage. When you're watching it as a kid, these kids are seeing this guy right now and they're probably scared of him. And he said it in his promo. He's trying to put fear in the hearts of all the superstars. So they're doing a good job building him up. The match itself was a B- because it was very short. Not much there except just complete dominance from Veer, winning over Dominique, making him tap out. And that was that for that match. The next segment was AJ versus Damian, which was built up by another segment before the match, which I'm liking what they're doing on Raw as of late. They're building segments that lead to a nice feud in the ring, but the match didn't deliver. The segment building up to the match was better than the actual match. The match ended very strangely, and Damian Priest started turning into like a vampire or something, and then they cut the commercial. It would have been nice if they would have actually stayed in on that for a little bit and gave some more story to that, and I just didn't like the way it added. The match didn't do much for me. I give it a D. It should have been a little longer, and hopefully it leads to something crazy happening. I would have liked to see what was going to happen with Damian. He looked like he was getting ready to eat AJ Styles or something like that. So hopefully in the few coming weeks we find out that Edge is like a magician or something, and he got magical fucking powers or something. I don't know. We'll see. After this, there was another segment with Ezekiel and Kevin Owens again. And their comedy act it's off to a good start. I'm happy to see Elias or Ezekiel or whoever it is back. But what I was not happy about is during the segment, Ciampa was announced as debuting on Monday Night Raw. No match, no run-in, no interference, no real storytelling. You just take one of the greatest NXT champions of all time and throw him in the middle of a random segment between Kevin Owens, who just fought Stone Cold Steve Austin. So, why you're pairing him up now with Ezekiel or Elias, I don't even know. Fine, pair them. Obviously Kevin can do the comedy act, and Elias can do anything. Talented, both of them. But what business does Ciampa have getting involved in this? This is a guy that you can turn into a major superstar. So what are you doing with him? I'm happy Ezekiel's back, but I'm not happy Ciampa got debuted like that. He deserves a much, much better treatment than this. Like I said, I love that between Owens and Ezekiel. Elias, Elias's younger brother. This man should have had a way better debut than that, though. After that, Liv Morgan took on Naomi. Liv Morgan got the business. Naomi beat the shit out of her, basically. No, not at all. That's what would have been nice to see. But instead, you did see a couple of good power moves. Naomi did catch a power bomb, and there was actually some good wrestling. But the problem is the good wrestling led to a early victory. So instead of having a classic wrestling match, the girls had like a quick match, a few minutes, and Naomi countered, and then Liv countered, and then Naomi countered, and that counter led to a pinfall 1, 2, 3. So the match would have been higher than a B if it would have went a few more minutes with some more moves and spots. Unfortunately, I don't know where that storyline's going. They're doing a lot of solos right now. That has everything to do with Sasha Banks and the tag team women's titles. So I don't know. Those matches usually, I was surprised tonight. They actually were very hard hitting tonight. Usually a lot of the girl matches, unless it's Charlotte or Baszler or maybe Ronda or Becky or Bianca, there's a few. There's a handful. Charlotte is the best in my opinion, but who else? Natalia sometimes when she's in a bad mood. I like seeing the hard hitting women matches. I don't like seeing the gymnastic Olympic fucking garbage where they don't even fucking wrestle and they just prance around the fucking ring. Not what I want to watch. I want to watch good wrestling. After that, the worst segment of the night, F- right out the gate. They have, coming back from commercial, Bobby Lashley in the middle of a segment where he's talking and he's literally just babbling. I don't even know what he's talking about. And all of a sudden, MVP comes out, basically shits on Bobby Lashley, lets him know he's a piece of shit, and the only reason he's ever became a champion is because of MVP. You're the only reason you're anything is because of me. which I don't like. They should have had it where MVP did his thing with Omos, and then they split ways. Take Omos and go do something, build him up. He needs all the help. That's why they're giving him a mouthpiece. But Bobby Lashley should be one of your premier athletes, and he should be treated as such. So I'm not happy with that whole storyline and where it's going. After that, Austin Theory came out, and he is no longer Austin Theory. He let everybody know that he's just Theory now, probably because Stone Cold stunned the Austin out of his name at WrestleMania. After that, the GMs were talking for a little bit, and pretty much the whole segment started between Sonya Deville and Bianca Belair, and this was actually a really good segment. I give this segment a minus. It could have been a little done better because it could have been set up better. They could have did it maybe as the second segment of the night, and then she told Bianca, hey, at the end of the night we'll tell you, who's going to be your opponent. Instead, it was all done together in one shot, where she basically beat the shit out of Bianca, hit her in the back, and let her know that she, Sonya Deville, would be her opponent, and she started signing the contract. So apparently Sonya Deville's got a woman world championship title match now with Bianca Belair, which I'm good for that. She's a great wrestler. Sonya Deville is one of the best female wrestlers, and we haven't seen her in a long time. So in a good heelish move, she basically is changing her role from GM to wrestler. At least that's what I'm hoping. Hopefully she doesn't think that she's going to be able to hit employees in the back and then continue to be the GM. Adam Pearce also let her know that there would be severe consequences for her actions. So hopefully that is her becoming a wrestler again and maybe getting a title run. Not just yet. Let Bianca have it for a little bit, I think, right? I don't see Sonya taking it off of her right away, but maybe after a few pay-per-views, Sonya, or maybe even Sonya wins the Royal Rumble. You could flip her from heel to babyface real fast. Or just have her be a heel. She could still be a popular heel because her wrestling is that damn good, where her wrestling would carry her reputation. After that, the 24/7 title scene, which is trash. The Los Lovers, Humberto and Angel Garza, basically were crashing the bachelorette party of Dana Brooke, and it was just bad news everywhere. It was just so bad. Nikki Ash came out. She made an ass of herself. This led to some strange referees stripping down and twerking, and of course it leads to a 24/7 match that was not only bad but downright hard to watch. R-Truth comes out and he saves this trash can of a segment by letting everyone know that he is now an ordained minister, and that next week on Monday Night Raw there's going to be a double wedding that it doesn't need. Instead of having a great quality Intercontinental Championship match or a United States Championship Open Challenge or the build-up of another potential superstar or maybe not the burial of Tommaso Ciampa, no, we're going to get a double wedding so we can take guys like, what's his name? Tozawa, great wrestler. Great wrestler being sent to this comedy relief bullshit. Overall, this is a C-. It was a fucking F until R-Truth showed up. Once R-Truth showed up, it became a C- because R-Truth's the man, let's be honest. After that, it was RK Bro versus Alpha Academy. RK Bro takes the win in a clean win right in the middle of the ring. After that, the Usos show up in their limo and let them know what's going on, that they want the match, they want the title shot. Street Profits come out, let the Usos know, hey, you get in line. You got to beat us if you want to beat them. So Randy Orton says, who wants to see this match here tonight, right now? Of course, everyone's, we want to see the match. Yeah. So we get that going. The match happens. The Usos beat up the Street Profits. The match was okay. The best part of the match was the frog splash for the finish. And then it was the interrupt, and then the 3D now, the Uso D or whatever they're calling it, the 1D. Why they're copying the Dudley Boys 3D, I don't know. I guess people are okay with stealing moves and being unoriginal. But the Usos made a lot of mistakes tonight. They were missing punches, they were missing slaps, they were missing chops. Overall, the match was pretty sloppy. The finish was the only thing that was good. And that just led to, Usos holding up the title. Randy Orton holding up the title, Riddle, they're holding up the title. And then there was a sneak attack by Dawkins, I think, and somehow it ended up where RKO ended up getting laid out by double sweet chin music, and Raw closes to the Usos holding all titles, which we know that's what's going to happen before Cody Rhodes beats Roman Reigns for the World Championship. you better believe the Bloodline's going to have a lot more gold before it's all said and done. The Bloodline's going to set up to get a lot of gold before it's all said and done. But eventually it's going to lead to great things. There's a reason why Randy Orton is out there at the end of Raw, because he's still the man. There's going to be great title matches within the next year. You're going to get to see matches like Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes versus Edge, Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes versus Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes versus The Miz, Dolph Ziggler. There's going to be a lot of bangers in the next year, thankfully, because of an inspired Cody Rhodes, who, like I said, looks better than ever, and he's going to keep looking better every week. He's inspired me to start talking about professional wrestling again. That's what he's done for me. What's he going to do for you? I don't know. Thank you for watching. Make sure you click subscribe and like. We'll be coming at you with recaps for as many episodes as we can. I'm going to be working with my guest host all over Jay, and we're going to be working on a WrestleMania video, the Mount Rushmore of wrestling, top finishers of all time, top botches of all time, and the list is going to go on and on and on, because this is going to be my thing. We're going to start talking about wrestling and wrestlers and getting into the reason why wrestling is in the state it's in. And don't forget about everything else. We're also going to be talking about AEW Dynamite, AEW pay-per-views. Once in a while I might talk about New Japan or Impact if something worthy of my time comes along. I'm a big, WWE, AEW kind of guy right now. I'm loving the dynamic. But I'll put this out there right now. AEW is fantastic, and I hope it does amazing, but one day it's going to make a hell of a category in the Peacock Network, baby. Until then, let's enjoy what we have right now, which is the best time in the history of professional wrestling. Cody Rhodes, CM Punk. One day maybe we'll get that match too at WrestleMania 42. Maybe. You never know. You never know. You never know. And that's why pro wrestling is